Welcome to the Nothing Much Just Chillin' Show with your hosts Emma and Julio. Nothing much, just chillin' show. Nothing much, just a chillin'.
Welcome back to NMJC, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Emma, and this is my podcast called Nothing Much Just Chillin', where we chill, and it's kind of less of a podcast and more of a FaceTime heart-to-heart between friends. So if you're into that kind of thing, vibe, whatever, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow me on Spotify, follow me on Apple Podcasts, wherever you're watching. Just follow, subscribe, like, comment if it's nice. Just kidding, you can comment mean things, I don't care. I was actually just FaceTiming my friend Nadira, who lives in Abu Dhabi, which is an hour away from Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. And she and I FaceTimed on Saturday, and she told me that when she listens to NMJC, she will accidentally talk back to me because she thinks we're on FaceTime, and that was just the cutest thing that I've ever heard. And I hope you all feel the same. I hope you feel comforted by my presence during these episodes, and I hope you all have been loving my guest episodes. Honestly, I'm such a fan of every single person that I've had on so far for season 2, and I'm really enjoying getting over the fear of asking people to be on the podcast, because it's scary, because people will be like, no. Also, the people who ask me how the podcast is going, it's like, well, that's not really you could listen to the podcast to see how it's going, but I don't know, it's just a weird thing if people ask me about it but that they don't actually listen. I'm like, okay, well then it's not going well for you because you don't like it. So but anyways, I'm very grateful for the people who do enjoy it and the people who love chilling with me, and I'm very grateful for every guest that I've had on, every guest that's coming up. I'm going to try to be really good in December, even though I'm going to be gone and away and traveling. I'm just going to have episodes ready to be uploaded, and it's all going to be fine and great. And if I miss a week in December, sue me. No, I'm just kidding. Just if I do post in December, please listen, please watch, please share, because I worked hard for that, because I got a lot going on right now. Speaking of a lot going on, obviously it's terrible what is happening right now in Palestine, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it at the end of the episode. There's so much going on in Palestine and Sudan and in the Congo, and I'm going to talk about it. I know this is a very chill podcast, but I'm going to say my piece. I'm going to say a little bit of my opinion. Obviously, I'm no expert, but I'm going to leave it till the end so that you don't have to hear, or before I start talking about it, you can just click off. You can just stop listening to the episode if you don't want to hear my thoughts on what's going on over there. So yeah, but let's get started chilling, guys. Okay, what has been going on? I haven't recorded a solo episode for a while now, and actually my parents came to visit Julio and I in October. They were here from the 17th to the 24th of October, so about a week, and it was so nice. I had been begging my parents to come because I knew that they would like this area that we moved into this year, and sure enough they did, and they love it, and they were like, we want to come back every month. They can't, obviously, they have to work and traveling is expensive and all that, but it would be really nice to have them come visit us a couple times a year, especially when we live in this great gray area. And yeah, but we did some classic LA things. We went on a hike. I took them to Malibu on a nice hike that they really liked. They liked it probably way more than the last hike that I took them on. In 2018, when my family came to visit, I took them on a hike at Runyon, and I took them the hard way at Runyon. And if you know Runyon, the hard way is it's hard. It's hard. There's a lot of steep hills, and yeah, they hated me. I think they just hated it so much, and it was also like the middle of the day, so it was so hot. So this time we took my parents on a hike in Malibu where the view was amazing. It wasn't too hard. It's a very easy hike, honestly, and they loved it. And we went so early in the morning that I don't think we saw one person on the way up, and it was a Saturday. I did that like on purpose because I knew that hike, Los Leones, it fills up quick on the weekends, and it's not that wide of a trail like Runyon. It's a very narrow trail, so you want to get there early. Hot tip. But yeah, they loved that. And then got them, I think that day I got burritos for everybody, groundwork burritos. If you know, you know. They're the best. I've talked about them so many fucking times on this podcast. Amazing burritos every single time. And we took them to jazz night at LACMA. I think it's over now, but for a good period of time during the year, they have Friday night jazz nights, and it's always like an insanely talented group of musicians. And my dad, he is a jazz pianist. He loves jazz, and my mom loves jazz. They're jazz lovers. They went to Newport Jazz Fest in, is it Rhode Island? Newport, Rhode Island. Yeah. That night was impeccable. They loved it. Before that, we went to Gracias Madre for happy hour. My dad loved Gracias Madre. I don't know if I've talked about it yet on the podcast. I probably have, because I just can't shut up about like vegan food. But the chef has changed from bad to good. It was good, then it was bad, now it's good. Gracias Madre. If you were wondering, you can go there now because I said so. And if you are going there, let me know, and I can give you some recommendations of what to order. What else did we do with my parents? Honestly, we just went on a lot of walks. I took them to the pier, and we went on the Ferris wheel. Actually, like 2 minutes before we went on the Ferris wheel, my dad was like, "No, I'm not going on. I don't like rides. I'm not going on." And then like cut to 2 minutes later on the Ferris wheel. He's taking pictures, he's taking videos, he's enjoying the view. It's the best view of the sunset. I will argue that. You know, not from a rooftop hotel, not a rooftop bar, well, maybe if you're in downtown or whatever. I'm mainly talking about, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to stand by this. I'm going to stand by this statement. The Ferris wheel, the Pacific wheel on the Santa Monica Pier, is the best sunset viewing spot in Los Angeles. And I know there are many. That's a big statement. There are a lot of great places to view the sunset. Our old apartment in downtown, the rooftop, that being one of them. I miss that rooftop so much. But just seeing the sun go beyond the horizon is so satisfactory, and I just love it. So I wanted them to have that experience, and they loved it as well. I made them pizza, of course. I burned myself while making pizza. I made them a cheesecake. I made them a cinnamon raisin maple I made them a cinnamon raisin maple pecan crust cheesecake. Yeah, what else did we do? I don't know, but if any of you ever need any recommendations on where to bring your parents or family when they visit you in LA, or if you are visiting LA and want recommendations, food recommendations I can do only if you're looking for vegan food. Actually, I think I know of, just because a lot of my TikTok, a lot of my content that I get on social media is LA food. I feel like I know where the good spots to get non-vegan food are, so I could probably help out in that department as well. I just love being a tour guide. I love being an LA tour guide. It is my favorite thing. I want to buy a big bus and start an LA tour business and offer photo shoots along the way, have Julio drive it, go to all the spots, go to the Hollywood sign. I would just take them so many places. Oh, the Getty. I also took my parents to the Getty because they love it, and I work there, so I get free parking. So we actually went there twice. That's how much they loved it. Well, we went once without Julio while Julio was working, and then once with Julio. And we did an architecture tour the first time, and then we did a garden tour. And yeah, it's just the best place. It's one of the best places in I was gonna say the world, but I guess I haven't been many places. But it's one of my favorite places in LA, and it is my favorite place that I've ever worked in LA. My parents came with me to the farmers market, the Brentwood farmers market, and I've gone a couple times since, and I am loving it. I love farmers markets so much. I don't know why it took me so long to go to that one. I guess I just didn't know where it was. And also, it's most times just cheaper to go to Trader Joe's, right? Like farmers markets, it can add up, it can get expensive, but the produce from farmers markets definitely lasts longer than produce from a grocery store, and it just, I don't know, it tastes better, but that must be like, what do you call that? Oh, fuck, I know you guys are yelling at me, like what I'm trying to say. What is it called? What is it called? Subconscious? No, I don't know, it might just be in my head, you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. But I have been loving going to the farmers market. I've been loving the most wholesome things lately. I think it's just because, you know, there's just all the stuff in the world right now. Like, it's not like I'm not laughing, like I don't mean to be insensitive, but it's just like what else can you do but like cry and like try to like have a slimmer of hope about humanity, or like try to like up your mood somehow, you know what I mean? So I've just been doing like the most wholesome things, trying to not have any drama or conflict in my life, really, because it's a lot when the world is going through so much. And that's, you know, that's part of the main reason why I am not wanting to just solely rely on myself from income, and why I'm working at the Getty and why I do temp jobs, because I get really overwhelmed by what's going on in the world, and it makes me not want to post and promote my business, and I don't know, like it's just a lot to like take on when you run your own business, when you run your own services, and then the world is shit, so you just feel shit, and then I don't make money. Then it's not good for anyone, because me without money, I'm not good for it. Like I need to be able to take care of myself financially if I'm going to like be able to help other people in any way, you know what I mean? So yeah, I've just been doing a lot of wholesome things lately. Julio and I, we've been going on date nights. Julio planned a really nice date night a couple weeks ago. It was a Wednesday, and he came to meet me at the Getty after work, and we drove to Olivia, which is not my sister, but a vegetarian restaurant in Koreatown in the strip mall, and it is so good. Love it. It's heavily endorsed by Anderson .Paak and Dumbfounded. We actually saw Dumbfounded there one time, but I was too scared to say hi. But anyways, we had some good food there. Their fried olives are delicious. They're the best. And then we went to see Coda the friend. He surprised me. It's so funny because he was like being all vague about, like he wanted to surprise me with this date night. But I was just thinking about the date, and then I just remembered that there was a Coda the friend concert on that date. I'm like, oh, we definitely bought tickets to Coda the friend, and I guessed it, and it was right. And yeah, we went to see Coda in downtown at the Belasco, I think, and it was good. It was just like, it was a Wednesday, and I had to like work in the morning, which I normally do. I mean, I normally have to work all day Thursday, but like doing my editing stuff, because I just work for the Getty from Monday to Wednesday, but I had to go that next morning because I had to do some like new employee safety training thing. Anyways, it was a long night that Wednesday night. We ate dinner, and then we went to the show, and Coda, he was great, but he didn't play any of my favorite songs until like the very end. So that was, because I was like, oh well, if you play some of my favorite songs, then we can go to bed, we can leave early. But he waited till the very end, so we stayed till the very end. But it's okay. It was a good experience. I love Coda. I love listening to his music. I feel like it's more like by yourself kind of music, like in your car or like, I don't know, with a small group of friends kind of music. Like it's not really like concert like rage kind of hype music, but it still was good, still cool to see one of my favorite artists. So thank you, Julio. And you know what else I've been doing that's really wholesome? I mean, I guess I do it all the time, but I've just been doing it more lately is, well, one, cooking. I've been cooking a lot of soups. I've been cooking the regular veggie soup that I usually make, and then I've also been making lasagna soup. Guys, have you tried lasagna soup? If you haven't, you need to look it up right now. Whether you're vegan or non-vegan, there's a bunch of recipes out there, and it's so simple, it's so good, and it's just lasagna in a pot. I don't even know how to describe it. I actually don't use lasagna noodles though. I use, what are they called? They're really big and round. Not round, but I don't know. They're like cylinders. Is it rigatoni? I think that's what it's called. But that's what I use for the lasagna soup, and it is just vegan meatballs, marinara sauce, veggie stock, onions, tomatoes, tomato paste, maybe, I don't know, there's garlic, like there's a lot of stuff in there. Oh, basil, however you pronounce it. And cheese, obviously, cheese, vegan cheese, lots of vegan cheese, and it is just divine. It is so good. If you've never heard of lasagna soup, you need to look it up right now and make it for yourself tomorrow. And just don't even tell your partner or whoever you're making it for that you got the idea from me. Just be like, yeah, I just fucking made this up. I was just like, why not have lasagna as soup? And they're gonna be so impressed. So you're welcome. Oh, baking. So I have been on a mission to perfect my pumpkin bread recipe and my chocolate chip cookie recipe. And you know what? The pumpkin bread is almost there. I feel like I almost have it perfect. It's not perfect quite yet, but it is going to be there soon. And once it is, I don't know. I guess I'll let anyone know. I don't know. If you're interested in my pumpkin bread recipe. And also, I'm not like just creating these recipes, right? Like I'm going off of like Pinterest recipes that I find, but sometimes I like mix two recipes together, or I use my own thing in a recipe, or just like do the measurements not the way you're supposed to make it like how I like it. Also, our oven is it's like broken or something. I have no idea. Like you can't, like we turn it on and then the temperature thermometer inside, because we have like an actual like old school oven, the thermometer inside the oven doesn't say what's on the outside. Oh my god, this is so dumb to explain, but basically our oven is broken, and so the timing of things has to be like perfect when you bake and stuff. So I've just been kind of like figuring out how to maneuver and work in peace with my broken oven. So it's just taken a long time. This probably, me perfecting my pumpkin bread and my chocolate chip cookie recipes would probably, the time would be cut in half if I just had an actual working normal oven. But what can you do? But yeah, I made pumpkin bread. I made the pumpkin bread for my boss for her birthday last week, and she said it was really delicious. So I didn't really get to like taste test it, besides like the ends I just cut off because they were like a little bit burnt. And yeah, I don't know. I'm very overly critical of the stuff that I make, because I want it to be perfect, because I have a very high standard for food, and that's just annoying. But it is very rewarding when I make something and it comes out perfect, and I'm just like, yes, I can serve this to people with pride. I can give this to people knowing that they're gonna like it too, because if I like it, other people are gonna like it, I think. I don't know. Another wholesome thing is that we hosted a game night last weekend. We just had a bunch of our friends come over while my friend Lexi was visiting from Pennsylvania, and we had a game night, and it was really fun. We only played one game, but it actually was like a great game to play. Our friend Sam, she brought over this game that you're supposed to play at like bachelorette parties. It's called For the Girls. That's what it's called, For the Girls. And actually Sam's going to come on the podcast, and I kind of want her to bring that game so we can play it on the podcast. But we played that game, and it's very like, I mean, it can be like a little bit like raunchy, and then also just, I don't know, some of the cards you kind of had to like know everybody, which nobody knew everybody but me and Julio. So it was just kind of funny because people were like, I guess you would be that person. But it had some really good like prompts, like truth or dare stuff, and then also just, I don't know, like was able to bring out some conversation that was interesting and really funny. And yeah, it was great. One of the deck of cards was Never Have I Ever, and I think one person pulled and it said never have I ever had a threesome. And we were all very disappointed in ourselves that nobody in the room had a threesome. I mean, obviously, like, whatever, like, it doesn't matter, but it's just funny. But I was just like, yeah, like, it always seems like a good idea. Like, it seems like, oh yeah, like that could happen like someday, I guess. Or like if I'm like, you know, not in love and it's like two people that I don't really care about, or like, I don't know, I've never really like thought too much about it, because at the end of the day it just seems like a lot to like plan and a lot to like process and go through. But yeah, not one person in the room had a threesome, and I think we were all like, aw, and then we were like, I guess that makes sense. I guess it's like not like that. I don't know. If you're listening and you've had a threesome before and it's been awesome, please let me know. I would love to hear your threesome experience. Oh my god, I have to tell you guys, at this game night, I put on, I don't even know like how we started talking about it. Oh, you know what? I was actually in the bathroom. Like, I was going to pee, and I came back, or no, while I was peeing, I heard them saying Krishan, who is the artist who just did a collab with Lil Mabu, like the diss on Blueface. I don't know why I'm like talking to you like, oh yeah, did you see when, you know, this really famous person did that? Like, I'm talking like you would know what the fuck I'm talking about, but hold on. So I've been a fan of Lil Mabu since he dropped Mathematical Disrespect. I cannot even tell you when that dropped, but I guess it was over the summer, maybe in May, I don't know. Sometime recently, he dropped that song. And I've been obsessed with Lil Mabu ever since. Like, every song he drops, I play it a million times. I'm such a big fan. I watch all of his music videos so many times. Anyways, Julio is not the biggest fan, or like I don't know. Maybe he's always just been like trying not to like him because of whatever reason. I guess it's just not Julio's type of music, really. I think. And he's like an 18-year-old boy. Like, there's not much that like we can relate to, but I just love him. He's like addicting, and he's so funny and such a good marketer. He's a marketing genius. I just love him. Love that kid in like a very like non like romantic way. Like, I'm just like so proud of him. Like, I hope he keeps on going, and he's in college right now. I don't know. Now I'm just like talking too much about my love for Lil Mabu. But anyways, so they were talking, and then Lil Mabu was brought up, and I heard his name like when I was in the bathroom peeing. And so when I came out of the bathroom, I was like, I'm sorry, are you guys talking about Lil Mabu? And then everyone was like, yeah, but like nobody had really like heard of him before or like seen his stuff. I think Sam had seen a couple videos or listened to a couple songs, but everybody else, it was like a foreign subject completely. Like, they had no idea who this kid was. And so I was like, oh my god, okay, you know what we're gonna do? And so I put on Lil Mabu's music videos, and everyone, and when I say everyone, Josh, Maya, Lexi, Tyler, Sam, Julio, glued, eyes glued to the TV watching this kid. Everyone was just so in awe of him and addicted to him, starting the addiction to Lil Mabu, and was so impressed by him and his marketing, his editing, his lyrics, his just like charisma, everyone was just like, I get it. And I was like, oh my god, I feel so validated right now, because this whole time, all these months that I've been a huge fan of Lil Mabu, I felt like I'm on an island by myself out here. I felt like the oldest fan in the world. I'm like, wow, like he's obviously not making music for a 29-year-old girl. it's just, it doesn't really fit, but like I still love it, like still gets me hype, you know what I mean? And then I just love him so much, and I've been even joking with Julio, like mathematical disrespect and Lil Mabu, he's gonna be like all of my Spotify Wrapped, and I'm gonna be so embarrassed to share that, but I'm telling you guys right now, I'm probably going to share it, because now I'm not embarrassed anymore, because all of the people in the room backed me up. They're like, wow, he's amazing. Like they were all loving him as much as I do. And it was very validating to experience that with everybody in the room there. And Julio is definitely, he's come around. He likes him now. And I'm glad that we are a pro Lil Mabu household, and that I put all those people on to Lil Mabu now. Moving on to another one of my obsessions, as you guys know, Love Island. Love Island Games came out in the beginning of November, and Julio and I have been watching it all the way through, and I think the final is actually tonight. We're gonna watch it after I finish this. I'm so excited, but it has been such a ride. It has been a really good show, honestly. It's been really great, and I would suggest watching it to whoever hasn't. But I don't know, I guess watch Love Island, like real Love Island first, if you've never watched Love Island before, like, because the fun part about Love Island Games is the all-stars that come in. Like it's all these favorites from past seasons of UK, US, Australia, France, Germany, and they come in and like compete together in games, and it's still like got that element of love, but not as much, and it's just way more competitive and like to the point. But yeah, it's been really good, and I love Maya Jama so much. It's so fun like seeing what she's gonna wear. But yeah, we've been watching that every day, and then I've also been rewatching Gilmore Girls, because I love Lorelai Gilmore. She is like one of my favorite fictional characters ever. I've always like wanted to just be like her, It's been a wholesome fall leading into winter, and it's been nice-ish, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to say something is nice right now with the times we're in, but I guess I've just been trying to like relax and like not be too hard on myself, and just try to get done what I need to get done, including this podcast for y'all. So I hope you enjoy it. I am going to talk now about, well, actually I'm going to talk about Hunger Games and how it like relates to what's going on in the world. So if you are not into that, if you do not want to hear me talk about real stuff, not that Lil Mabu and Love Island Games aren't real stuff, but yeah, if you just kind of want to drop off now, I completely get it. And I hope you guys have a lovely Thanksgiving and a lovely long weekend, and yeah, I love you so much, so feel free to go. So Julio and I saw Hunger Games, the new one, on Friday, the day it came out, and yeah, it was amazing, honestly. Like I love Hunger Games. It's like one of my favorite like franchises, And the new Hunger Games is actually like a prequel. This movie showed the beginning of a lot different parts of what makes the games, the Hunger Games, or a lot of elements to the games that are carried over in the other movies and books, I guess. I don't know what book came first, but yeah, overall it was very good, but I don't like the main girl, Rachel Zegler. I'm so sorry, but the accent I felt like every other actor in that movie was really, really good, but she fell short, I think. I mean, I think she has an amazing voice, like singing voice. Like, I can totally understand why she got the role. Like, she deserved it. I just wish they didn't do her so dirty with that accent. Like, why didn't no one tell her? Like, it sounded really bad. I don't understand. And so when Julio and I got out of the movie, we were like having such conflicted thoughts. Like, it was really good, but like, damn, she kind of sucked. And I wanted to like her. I wanted to go in and be like, oh wow, she's really good, because I love Jennifer Lawrence so much. Like, I think so highly of her in those movies, you know. She's an incredible actress, and she was really like born for that role of Katniss Everdeen. And so Julio and I, coming out of it, were like so confused and conflicted, just like sitting with our feelings. And then I had an appointment to go get my ears pierced. I got 2 piercings in this ear. I got my 3rd hole in the conch. So I'm kind of a badass. No, I'm just kidding. I like almost cried. Like, it hurt so bad. But anyways, my piercer, Julio didn't get his ears pierced, although I want him to. But the piercer was saying that she also saw Hunger Games and that she had the same thought. She hated Rachel Zegler's accent, and that it like threw it off, and like she was kind of bad in it. And yeah, we were just like kind of talking shit about her, but like, yeah, I just didn't like her, you know. You're not gonna please everybody, and you're not gonna like everybody, so you just gotta deal with it, I guess. But anyways, you're probably like, how does this have anything to do with what is actually going on in the world? And listen, I am not the first person to bring this up, nor will I be the last, nor will I be the most educated person to bring this up. But I do want to bring up how the Hunger Games, it's kind of like a art imitates life kind of thing, right? Because there's the capital, there's the rich people in Pan Am, and then there's the districts, the poor people. Oh, they lost the war. Oh, they have to have this punishment, and it's just, oops, like they just have to fight for their lives. Oops. Like, we're living lavishly, and we have the strongest military, and we eat good food and live safely, and we just bully these people around in a very awful way. And it's kind of insane seeing movies like that, knowing that everybody in the theater, right? Every single person in the theater, every single person watching, streaming at home, in those kinds of movies, you're always rooting for the underdog. Like, you're always rooting for the districts. You're always rooting for the Katniss Everdeens, the Lucy Gray, I think is Rachel Zegler's character in it. You're always rooting for those people. You're rooting for all the kids that are getting picked to fight to the death. Like, you're rooting for them all to not, like, you're rooting for them all to escape somehow, but they can't because there's such heavy surveillance and all that shit. And they're, you know, under the most powerful military in their world. And it's really sad. It's really, really awful thinking about how many people are on the side of the districts in the Hunger Games, or any movie like that, where it's just so obvious who you should root for, who has the most power, and who is fighting for their fucking lives. If you aren't new here, you probably know that I am Jewish. I'm half Jewish. My mom's family is Jewish. We're Russian Jew, actually. I did not go on my birthright trip. I could have. And also, if you don't know what a birthright trip is, it's this trip where you can, between the ages of 18 and 26, you can go to Israel for free and go on this, like, I think it's like 2 weeks or something, trip in Israel, and they show you around and they kind of introduce you to the IDF, to the Israeli forces, and kind of explain who is good and who is bad and why they need to protect their land from the Palestinians. And you just learn at a young age. It's indoctrinated in you, this Zionism, and it's so scary. Like, that is so scary. And I would hope that if I did my birthright trip, that I would not be brainwashed into thinking that Palestinians were bad and they were a threat, or they're terrorists or savages or anything like that. I would hope that I would have the wherewithal, the intelligence to know that that's fucking bullshit. I mean, if you just go and read 5 minutes, like, everyone's like, oh my god, it's so complicated, but it's really not. If you just educate yourself for 5 minutes, you would know who is really the most at fault here. Oh, this is like scary to like make a stance like this, because, you know, this is my podcast and we're really chill over here, but I think it's important to at least say once on this podcast that I am fully in support of Palestine, free Palestine. I can't wrap my head around all the deaths, all the children who have died at the hands of Israeli forces right now in the past month. And it makes me livid. It makes me so angry, and it should make people angry and upset. And I think the best way that we can do something about it is use our voices, spread awareness, try to talk to our government officials, even though I just can't even grasp don't even want to talk about the US's part in all of this, because they're fucking funding this war, which it isn't a war, it's a genocide. I think I'm at a loss for words now. I've been talking too long, and I just, you know, day after day have the Palestinians on my mind, and I'm always checking up on the journalists that I follow, Motaz and Bizan and so many others that I check up on every single day to see if they're alive and to support them sharing their side of the story in such a professional, eloquent way. I mean, seeing Motaz, like, seeing these Palestinian journalists with like gear around their neck, like they have, you know, the same camera setup that I do, which is like thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're constantly like hearing bombs and seeing death and like, I just can't even imagine like having to put my eyes to my viewfinder and capture that. I can't even imagine like what they go through in that moment when they're, you know, using their gift to show such awful things, and then it just goes on deaf ears because the US isn't helping. Nobody's helping, and even if they try to help, the Israeli army just doesn't let people help them. And I could go on and on, like I said, so I'm just going to end this episode, and I hope I don't even know if it was important for me to talk about on this podcast, because I know that people don't come here to like hear my political opinions, but I truly believe that it's important for me to talk about it because I am half Jewish, and I see a lot of Jewish people just thinking that they're on the right side, and I feel for them, because I know how deeply those roots have got to go. You know, they're probably taught from a young age all about this hatred and all about this, war. And for them, it's like a complicated thing. So I get it. I empathize with the people who may just not be there yet. But I think as a Jewish woman who has somewhat of a platform, like not a big one by any means, but I think I just want to say, like, I'm in full support of Palestine, of Palestinians, of Gaza. And yeah, that's my end to this podcast, guys. I hope you enjoyed chilling with me this week, and I will see you soon. See you next time. Bye. Love you.
Nothing much, just a chillin'.